What up? What up? All right, y'all. Welcome to the third episode of the Roughneck Fishing Show with Rob Crane. Supposed to have a special guest tonight, my buddy, longtime buddy, and fellow co-angler in Major League Fishing, Mark Howard. He is actually in transit right now. He got hung up, so he is on his way to Dallas, Texas. He lives down in Texas, and hopefully he can join us here in a little bit. Once I hear from him, we'll try to bring him in here. But he'll be going live from his brother's house, and yeah, he got hung up today. So hopefully we can at least get him in here and talk a little fishing with him. If not, then we'll just have to do it another night, and we'll just talk some fishing. You know what I mean? Don't bother me much. When it comes to talking fishing, I'll talk fishing. So anybody who comes in here, say, hey, I can see your comments. I can say hi to everybody, get some shout outs. And I'd like to say I hit a milestone on my Facebook page. My Facebook page has 5,000 followers. Now, I created that page back in, man, I don't even know, 2013 or 12. So it's been a long road to get that many followers on Facebook, but I got the 5K. So now the next goal will be 10, you know. Rob Welsh, you're damn right, buddy. You know they eat the jig, man. You know this. It's a true story. I mean, I always have a jig on hand. You know what I mean? It's just so cute. That is just a cute little tungsten. You know what this is, don't you? This is a Kitech tungsten bass crack. Yeah, because this is crack for bass. It's tiny, little bitty thing. Got a super sticky little hook, nice little keeper on it. Got this teardrop shape on it. So with this jig, I like to do everything with it. I will swim it. I will throw it into wood. I will crawl it over rocks. I will throw it on points. I mean, literally, it's a hybrid, just a little hybrid jig. So if you only need one jig in your box, this would be the one. And they got tons of awesome colors in the Kitech lineup. They don't get too fancy with them. They got a lot of variations of like green pumpkin. They got black blue, green pumpkin, blue flake. They got dark green pumpkin, regular green pumpkin chartreuse. If you get on KitechUSA.com, you can check out all the colors. They're pretty badass. All right, so let's see here. So hopefully Mr. Mark messages me here in a couple minutes. But like I said, awesome deal. I hit 5K on my Facebook page. That's something I've been trying to do for a long time, and it's a pretty cool deal. This is something I'm going to show off tonight. This is the Thunderhawk Go Bag. Now, this is kind of a special deal that we're doing right now for the holidays, and we'll have these after the holidays too. But it's a cool little bag. If you got if you like pond hopping or whatever, and you just want to carry some light tackle, cool little bag for that. Hey, if the missus wants a little bag to go fishing with, cool for that. And it's got a bunch of little compartments in there. Got a little spot here on the side. You can even put a drink in there, in case you get thirsty on them cold days, them ice cold beverages, you know what I mean? So I got in some goodies too. Black Friday, of course, I should not even be on the internet on Black Friday, but Black Friday, I seen discounttackle.com. I'm not affiliated with Discount Tackle, but I've done a lot of shopping on their site over the years. I've always seen some good deals coming out of there. So anyway, I seen an ad that they were selling chatterbaits for like the regular chatterbaits for like $3 and change. So I got on there, of course, to get a couple chatterbaits. No big deal. And then I start looking, and like all their Z-Man products are all, slash 30% off plus. So I picked up a handful of these Z-Man big blades. I haven't tried these yet. Now, I do know about the jackhammer. I believe they were selling jackhammers for like $10 a pop. So I picked up a couple of these guys, got a jackhammer or two, and then I got some of these big blades. I bought 4 of these guys because I want to try them. And the blade, I'll take this guy out and the jackhammer just to kind of have them side by side, just so you guys know. Those in the know the jackhammer's a deal, but Jesus, man, these things get hung up on wood. Now, there was another chatterbait I was throwing this year, the cross-eye, and it's got a weed guard on it. That's the dude you want around wood. I dig it. I threw it around a bunch of stumps and lay downs and all that, and I didn't get snagged once with it. But it's got that long weed guard on there. So side by side, jackhammer, big blade. And the jackhammer, this dude, I want to say he was 3/8 ounce. Let's see. Yeah, it's a 3/8 ounce jackhammer compared to a 5/8 ounce big blade. But there you go. We're about double the size. And it looks pretty damn close to the same kind of shape as the jackhammer. The heads are a little different. Of course, the hook's bigger. Skirt material looks pretty much dead ringer. But yeah, other than that, it looks pretty damn similar to the bait, minus this giant blade. And what I got these guys for next year, I'm going to be fishing some Illinois lakes, muddy lakes, and then a river system too. So, Ohio River mud. And yeah, so I was thinking muddy water, these big blades with that big vibration, especially, pre-spawn and like fall time, the transition time. I'm thinking that might be a deal. So I picked up some of these big blades and I'm going to be throwing them. And I'm kind of excited to, because designed by Brian Thrift, and he's one of my idols in the game. And if Brian Thrift designs a bait, Rob Crane gonna try it. Believe that. And whenever I do try this guy, I'll probably do a little YouTube video on it, honestly, just to put some content out there on it. All right, so let's see. There's Mr. Mark. All right, Mr. Mark, I see you. Hold on a second. All right, we're gonna add you in here. There he is. Can you hear me, brother?
Hey, Rob, can you hear me?
I can hear you. How are you doing tonight, sir?
Well, I'm doing okay. Had to go to Dallas today and work and gathering material. We're trying to get this house wrapped up over here so we can get moved in and have a nice Christmas party.
Amen on that, brother. Amen on that. So those of you who may not know Mark, Mr. Howard here is a longtime co-angler. How long you been doing the co-angling deal?
I tried my first one in the summer of 2010, fell in love with it, and I've done it every year since then.
Nice. So shoot. So that's basically 12 years now going on with you doing the co-angling deal, and you fished over 100 events, right?
Yeah, I think to date I fished like 119 events.
Nice. Yeah. My total as a co-angler was 42. And I did jump into one this year as a boater, which my boat was not ready to do that, but I did it. And hey, I didn't goose egg. I caught a little keeper on Wren Lake here in Illinois, and that lake, that's a mean lake. But yeah, I was just showing off this new Z-Man Big Blade chatterbait. Showing it off compared to the jackhammer.
I'm a big chatterbait fan.
Oh yeah, man. It's fishing as a co-angler. There's probably 4 or 5 baits that almost every single pro will have at all times tied on. Of course, one being a jig. Another one I see is a chatterbait. And really another one I see is a Cinco of some variation. And then there's a couple other ones. But yeah, chatterbait is a staple for everybody nowadays.
Yeah, so, I've spent most of my time fishing behind them guys with finesse baits. That's always been my greatest way to be successful.
Now, I've tried. I grew up a river rat, and I really, really tried to force myself to pick up a spinning rod and get finessey with it. I found ways of getting finessey, like throw them a little finesse jig and stuff behind guys on a bait caster. But I actually won co-hanger of the year this year without a spinning rod in my hand, brother.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
pretty crazy.
Yeah, I seem to be happiest when I'm holding a spinning rod out there on the water. That's
Yeah, see,
how I like to do damage.
I'm the opposite, man. I've tried to force myself. I've tried to do it. It's hard for me, man. It's hard. But I
Right.
really, it was funny story. About 3 or 4 years ago, I was pre-fishing for a Toyota down there on Table Rock with Marcus Sikora, and we were pre-fishing, and I was in the back with a spinning rod throwing a Ned rig, and I'm throwing the thing, and I'm struggling. Like I look like a 9-year-old kid down at the park who doesn't know what he's doing, casting at 20 foot or so. And Marcus is up there laughing at me. And he's like, "Damn, Crane, you need to practice with that thing." I said, "Marcus, what do you think we're doing?" "We're practicing, man." I'm like, "I
Right.
don't throw this damn thing, man. I just
Yeah.
don't. So
Yeah.
it was funny though. Had us a good laugh over that one.
Yeah. You get in the boat and fish behind Socorro, there ain't much to catch anyway, especially if he's got a
No.
jerk bait.
Oh yeah, no. I actually drew him day 2 at Lake of the Ozarks this year at the Toyota. And we pre-fished
Right.
together, and I ended up drawing him. I knew we were one boat number away after day 1, so it was like a 50-50 shot of me getting them the next day. And I ended up getting them, and it's just the fish weren't cooperating with us at all that day. Um,
Yeah.
I think he caught 3, I think, and I caught 1, which was the skinniest damn 4.5 pounder you ever seen. It ended up weighing like 3 1/4, and it was the skinniest bass ever. And we were throwing stick baits all day.
Right.
But Mr. Mark, I know you did over 100 events, and you've won $120,000 as a co-angler. I mean, that's a pretty damn good accomplishment right there, brother.
Yes, sir. Well, I've been very fortunate to have some incredible boaters.
Oh
And
yeah.
I never won a tour event, but those 5 years on the tour with those guys that are on top of this game, I learned so much.
Oh yeah.
You know,
And I mean, I got into the game in 14, and guys like you and Mr. Mike Mueller, watching you guys and, a couple other co-anglers out there, I kind of tried to emulate what you guys did. And really, after I met you and kind of talked to you and just seen, how you just always had a positive attitude. Because the first couple of years I did it was in the BFLs, and it was kind of a struggle. I made a regional my second year, but for the risk and reward, I was like, I'm going to the series. I'm going to go up. At least I have a chance to win a boat every tournament.
right.
And then me and you met, and just seeing how you kept positive, because as a co-angler, it is very easy to get discouraged and spin out. It is very easy, especially if you have a guy, whacking them in front of you. Um, it's just the mental game is 75% of it.
Yeah, it really is. And it's time management. And
Hmm.
what I do is if I'm fortunate enough to catch one or two early and I still got
Yep.
6 hours, I just set it in my mind, hey, I need 3 more bites, one every 2 hours.
Yep.
I should be in the game. And
Shoot,
that's kind of what
a
I've
lot of
always.
these derbies in the Ozarks, me, I try to stick to the Midwest for the most part. You jump around. That's too much money for me to travel, do all that kind of stuff. So I try to stay within 6 hours of home. Lake of the Ozarks, Table Rock, Kentucky, and all these lakes here in Illinois,
Yeah.
Tennessee, Kentucky, Missouri, Grand Lake. That's about the furthest I trek is Grand. Um, but it's been a ride. I've done it for 8 years now, and I'm thinking next year I'm gonna put the co-angling deal down. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not saying I won't maybe jackpot one. Who knows? I'm not gonna say I won't, but the writing on the table is I'm gonna go to the front and try to focus on that.
Yeah. I hit a slump I haven't been real focused the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've cashed a check since the fall of 19. Of course, I hadn't fished as many events. We've been trying to get a house remodeled and get it sold. We accomplished that. We got down here to the lake. Now we're building one. And, this year I'm going to go in with the right mindset, and I'm going to I want to fish the Southerns. My buddy Chris Heath called and asked me to come join him and practice with him. And we love some Okeechobee. He was my first tour angler ever, and we've been tied ever since. So we're going to give that a go. And then, if I'm still struggling as a co-angler, then I'm headed to the Northerns, and I'm going to drag a boat up there, and we're going to see what me and the smallmouth can do. So.
There you go. Hey, I know you love you some brownfish. That's for sure, man.
Oh, I do.
I mean, really, the only smallmouth I've ever really been exposed to is Kentucky Lake and Table Rock. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's not many of them around here. But it seems like whenever I get around them and I know I'm around them, I seem to put a few in the boat. So, next year I'm fishing the Illini BFLs. I go to Wren Lake twice, and then I go to Lake Shelbyville in May, and then Lake Shelbyville in June, Wren Lake in July. I go to the Ohio River down there in Paducah in August. And then I go to Wren Lake in September for the super tournament. So Shelbyville twice, Wren Lake twice, and then the Ohio River. And then our regional for the Illini BFLs is up in La Crosse, and I've never been there. And every time I've seen people have tournaments up there, it just gets me excited. Like, I just want to go.
Yeah, it's that's a great fishery, and man, you can do some damage with a frog. You can do some damage with the swim jig, and they got the smallmouth in there too that can play. So
there's a lot of grass up there, and the water's pretty clear up there in that part of Mississippi, isn't it?
It is, and the current kind of sets them up. Once you figure it out, you can pretty much duplicate it. You should do well. I look to see you at the regional for sure, and I expect you'll do good at La Crosse. I really do.
Well, I mean, the Illinois lakes are going to be tough. Shelbyville's a decent little lake. I've only been there a couple times. I went there 2 summers ago, or was it last summer? Yeah, it was last summer in July. We went there, me and my cousin, and I hadn't been there in years and years. And we went there, jumped in one of those USA Bassin tournaments, and me and him jumped in that. And he wanted to go flipping, and it was hot, and after about an hour, I was in his ear the whole time, like, we got to get away from the bank. We got to get away from the bank. We got to go out in these points. Let's go check a point. Let's go check a point. So we ended up going out to a point in some deeper water and located a couple fish, and, got some squeakers in the boat. And then I ended up catching a big on a jig, about a 5.5 pounder. And and then we caught another one, but then we started running out of time, and we only had four fish. I mean, I think there was only like 40 boats in it, I think. But we ended up finishing like 5th place with 4 fish and got big bass, and that was the first time I had been there in 9 years, So I had we just went fishing, there's no spots to go to. I just looked at the maps and, hey, let's check that, and that, kind of that deal.
Yeah.
So are you living on Lake Fork? Is that where you're at?
Yeah. We're living in a fifth wheel right there. I got a boat ramp right out my front door right now, and
nice.
We're building over here about 15 minutes away from where I'm staying right now, and we'll be right on the water here, and got a boat ramp literally within a quarter mile of me. And it's going to be it's a lifelong dream. It's taken me 41 years to make it happen.
Hey,
but,
good things happen to good people, brother. God bless you, and congratulations.
Well, thank you. It's,
see, I'm landlocked. I'm 36. My end game is to live on a lake. I've always thought about Kentucky was kind of my number one, but of course, the Asian carp deal the past handful of years kind of
Yeah.
ruined that. So, kind of my other two, I would say Lake of the Ozarks, but I really don't like that many people on the lake. So I'd probably go for Table Rock. Live out, somewhere in the Branson area. I would love to live on Table Rock. I think that'd be a hoot, man.
Yes, Table Rock is an awesome fishery, and I got down there. We had a tournament down there a couple of years back, and we got on them smallmouth down on that lower end. My buddy's a river rat. He wants to go up to James, and he told me, he said, "Hey, we're going to take this day and we're going to go down the main lake because I know you got the itch and you got to go down there and see what's going on in the deeper water." And man, we went down there and smashed the smallmouth, and he was like, "I've never caught fish like this in my life."
Hell yeah. Yeah, I mean, that was the tournament I believe me and you both got top 10, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was.
Yeah, we both made the third day. I think I took fourth.
I think you did.
I think so.
I think I wrapped it up like sixth or something. So
yeah, in that tournament, day one, I caught some spots and some smallmouth day one, main lake kind of deal. Squeaker, limit for 11 or 12 pounds. And then day two, I drew Cody Huff. And he was greenback chasing. So we ran and he got on his deal. Well, he was flipping.
Yeah.
And I picked up one of these jackhammers behind him. And I was watching where he's flipping. He's got the trolling motor on high, go, go, go. And so I was watching where he was going, and I was trying to hit the lanes and the spots that he wasn't hitting. That's one of the keys to being a co-angler is watch where your guy's casting.
Yeah.
If he hits the right side of a lay down and he didn't hit the left, hit the left. Would it, cover all the water, and Cody was catching, 2.5 pound fish, keepers, but nothing big. And then I think he had 2 or 3 in the boat, and then bam, I catch like a 4.5. And he's like, oh crap, and then he like limits out pretty quick, and then bam, I catch another 4. And then we go, oh, I know, man. And then we go up, and then I catch one like 3.5, which is like bigger than anything he has in his bag. Now he has a limit, and I have 3 fish. We pull up in this little cut, and there's a little creek that comes into it. In the middle of the creek, there was like a little stump with like some vegetation, some trees and stuff growing out of it. And he throws up in there, and he catches another cookie cutter, 2.5 pounder. I think it may have helped him a little bit, maybe a small coal. And so he gets it into the boat, and I'm standing there, and I was going to wait for him to be done with what he was doing. He's standing on the front deck. He's fooling with the fish. I was trying to, and he looks at me, he goes, cast up in there. I'm like, are you sure? He goes, yeah. Okay. I cast up in there. Boom. No, they're close to 4 pound bass. I guess he caught the male and I caught the female.
Right.
And I was like, man, I'm sorry, man. And he's like, that's what I get for being a nice guy. I was like, man, I felt terrible. And I ended up having like close to 15 pounds for 4 fish in the biggest co-angler bag of the tournament.
Yeah.
And 4 fish. Good night. If I ended up losing the derby by 2 pounds. So if I would have caught the 5th one that day, who knows what would have happened.
You had that boat, man.
Yeah, ain't no kidding. I know, man. And that's one thing, I really wanted to win the boat. That was my main goal this year, main goal last year, just win one tournament. And it's hard. I just get into this mindset of, oh, I just want to swing for the fences. But then I realize as a co-angler, if you do that, you're going to lose, because even if you catch 3 a day, some tournaments and them tough derbies, that may be the winner,
Yeah.
if they're just squeakers, so I've trained myself to try to stay off that mentality of just, swinging for the fence, trying to get a big bite, because 95% of the time it ain't going to happen for you.
Right. Yeah. I've my goal when I go out there is to get the limit, and then maybe start throwing some bigger bait, start trying to look for something a little heavier. But honestly, I've caught just as many. Most of my big bags have come on drop shots. I mean, they really have. I've caught 27-pound bags, 24-pound bags,
right?
21-pound bags a couple of times, and it's all been, with that drop shot. Yeah.
My biggest bag off the back of the boat was 19 and change. That was on Kentucky. And then my second biggest bag was 18 and change. That was on Kentucky on the same tournament. That was the one I almost won. That I was in first place going into the third day, and I paired up with Jason Lambert, and then I
Yeah.
caught two fish for 4 pounds.
Yeah. I know. I know.
Yeah, that was oh man, it still hurts. It just
Yeah.
hurts.
I
Oh,
know.
it hurts.
You've had some rough day threes, and we all had those. And honestly, when I make a day three, it's really about the boater. It's not about
Yep,
me at that point. I'm just there to
yep,
pick up what I can, where I can, and stay out of their
yep.
way and let them try to make their move.
Yeah,
And but sometimes you get guys that if you're dialed in and they're not, they just kind of start letting you fire
yeah,
away at them.
yeah. I mean, like this year, I took fifth place at Grand Lake. And third day, well, day one, squeaked out. I think I had 4 day one, but I was in it. It was a tough tournament. Day two, I had a little deal where I was just catching them. I probably had 20 something keepers that day. Um, and I was sitting, I think, sixth or seventh going into the last day. And then the last day, I drew a guy named Brent Algio there from the Ozarks. Me and him had met numerous times, and we just went cranking, just cranking all
Yeah,
day. And I caught a small limit behind him, which I was grateful for those 5 fish, and got me some hardware. So I was like, hey, couldn't draw it up any better, really. I did everything I possibly could. I know that. So
yeah. Well, when you're co-angling, the main goal is to get in that top 10 and give yourself a chance. And
yep.
then it's the luck of the draw, really, who you get.
The
They may
stars
have
got
already
the
burned their
stars got to
fish up
align
and be
correctly
on the
for
struggle
sure.
bus.
Absolutely. And I mean, like you said, I mean, there's been spells where, I've had years that were just bad, where I just no matter what I did, it just it didn't matter, because there's so many variables that are out of our control. Um,
Yeah,
it kind of sounds like a cop out when you hear a co-angler say that because, oh, yo, blah blah blah. Well, I mean, you especially lakes that you know. And I
yeah,
pre-fish all of them, and these are lakes generally, the Central Plains Division, the Ozarks, Table Rock, Grand Lake, Truman Lake, Dardanelle, been there a few times, and I've had success on all those lakes, Kentucky, and it's tough whenever you're figure something out pre-fishing or where they should be and you're in an area and you just can't go get them. I mean, some
yeah.
guys,
I know.
there's been a lot of the tournaments where I've done well. Guys will have a tough practice and just straight up be like, I'm not on anything. Or maybe day two, maybe day one, they goose egged or something.
Yeah,
And they're like, and I'm in it. And they're like, what do you want to go do? Oh, go over here. I know where a bunch of low keepers are,
yeah,
just cookie cutters. That's all I need. I'm not going trying to catch 25 pounds. I go catch 12. I'm sitting pretty.
yeah.
So,
Exactly.
it's been a roller coaster. That's for sure. But the coolest part about fishing in FLW and Major League Fishing as a co-angler for all these years is all the people I've met, all the friendships I've made. And I mean, lifelong friendships, you being one of them, all the
Yeah,
boaters that I've been
absolutely.
friends with, I mean, probably 90% of the guys that I fish with, we end up becoming friends on the internet if we're not already before that. And, we stay in touch.
Yeah, yeah. Another one of our good co-anglers that I've enjoyed fellowshipping through the years, Roger Olson. I mean,
Oh,
that
right,
guy,
right,
he's
man.
been so close so many times,
He
and
is a hammer, man.
he is, he is, he's a
Roger, hey, I definitely respect Roger big time. That
yeah,
dude is a legit hammer. If he was running the front, you'd still hear his name, guarantee that. And
yeah.
that's something
I
that
just
you you know it.
I like to encourage all these anglers that are young and old. If you sit out there and think, man, I'd like to try that, but I don't want to get a bad draw. I don't want to,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be in the guy's way. Most of them guys, when you get in the boat, it's like you've been friends for life. We all got the same mentality. We want to catch
Oh yeah.
fish.
Yep.
And you know what? Out of 120 events, which probably puts me somewhere in the 280 different boaters that I've been in the boat with,
Right.
I've had 2 or 3 that I really didn't enjoy, and maybe
Right.
one that I'd just soon never get in the boat with again.
Right.
And there's been a lot of them guys probably hosted me out there and going, man, I hope I don't draw him again.
Right. I mean, hey, I won't lie to you. You know, I'm sure there's quite a few of them that probably didn't like me, but me, I always try to keep it light. I like to talk when I'm fishing, unless I'm just spun out and I'm just so super uber focused, you know.
Right.
But I like to keep it light. Um, keep a positive attitude on the water, and I always tell guys, hey man, you don't just have a professional net man behind you. You also have a motivational speaker on your back deck today because we're gonna have a good day regardless of what happens.
Absolutely. Yep. Yep.
Hey, I just found these things a while back, and I've been wanting to get a pack of them. These are the 3 3/4 inch, the little goat from Z-Man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Little
kind of a little
flipping
flat.
bait
Yeah, it's got
or
the
trailer.
the Elastec. Yeah, I mean
The
you probably do a lot of things with that little bait. Jig trailer, Carolina rig it, flip it, punch it. It reminds me of the Menace grub,
Yeah.
but a little
I'm
different.
a major Z-Man fan. I love their Elastec baits, the Ned rig.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah,
yeah, it's been fun. Yeah.
yeah. These are 3 3/4 inch. A lot of these Elastec baits they made the past 10 years, have been little baits. Real
Yeah.
finessey. They have these little bitty too, but I wanted some for like jigs and stuff. Super glue it
Yeah.
to a jig, and I shouldn't lose a trailer. That should be the last trailer that jig gets to. I'll lose the damn thing.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, they got a bunch of good colors. Got the Okeechobee crawl.
I was gonna say
Yeah,
might have to drop one of them behind an ounce and a half weight down at Okeechobee and see what happens.
yeah, yep. This is the Canada crawl, I think. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a little goby color there, boy.
Right.
I
Yeah.
was looking for that goby color they got. It's like that, but it's got purple in it too.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
couldn't.
That's the.
Yeah.
I got to throw a lot of the Neds that look like that.
That's my
They're
favorite color of a Ned
TRD.
rig.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, so you want to give some shout out to sponsors? I know you still got Kistler, right?
Oh yeah, I still got my Kessler rods. Yeah,
Yep.
they're great people. I've got sponsors that I've been able to associate with through uh, different through my JC Outdoors Bass Trail, really. And Classic Fiberglass is one of them. My friend
Mm-hmm.
uh, Richard Osborne at Richmond Communications.
Mm-hmm.
Lake Fork Tackle still gives me a hookup here and there. We got a new bait company here on Lake Fork, Go Fish Lures, and
Yeah.
I mean it's a local bait. He can match just about anything that Zoom builds, and it got tough to get some Zoom baits. And
Yes, it
honestly, I take
has.
him out there. He'll add scent to it, and it'll be a scented Zoom style bait, But
Oh,
I've used
nice.
this stuff and it catches just as good as anything else I'm throwing. So,
I
I looked for him to make a big move in the bait industry.
That's good stuff right there, man. I love Zoom. I mean, I literally have probably 200 packs of Zoom in my house right now.
Right.
Um, I have a little bitty bait shop here in Fairview Heights, Illinois, about a mile and a half from my house, and they do like
Yeah.
license and titling, and they rent U-Hauls, and then they just have bass baits inside, their store, and
Right.
they literally have a 30-foot long wall full of just Zoom baits, like top to bottom. And I've thought about getting online trying to see what baits are really hard to come by and see if they have them because they have like pretty much everything
Yeah.
on that wall. And there's not that many diehard bass fishermen around here. I mean, there's just not compared. I mean, there's bass fishermen, but not comparative to like a lake community. So
Right.
I thought about going in there with $500 and just buying some stuff up and reselling it, but we'll see.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Also, Service Marine here on Fork, they helped me out. Sergeant Marine, and I'm hoping he puts me in a boat here
Yeah.
really soon. That's I want a 22 foot. We're going to get a bay boat because I'm going to crappie guide on the lake, but I want a 22 so I can get up on the Great Lakes and run those and
Right.
feel confident that I can get back every day. So
Now, brother, I got to know this. Do you have a spare guest room at this house?
actually, we're in the process. My shop is 2,000 square feet, and we popped a little
Nice.
700 square feet apartment on one end, and
There
it
you
has
go.
750 foot of overhead storage, so I don't junk up my shop.
Yeah.
So yeah, there is 2 bedrooms in that apartment, and when we build our
There you
house,
Hey, you
of
could
course we'll
Airbnb
have
Airbnb that thing for tournament anglers too. Make you some money.
right, yeah, yeah, and when I
But
start my guide
hey,
business, my
that's
clients will be able to come here and stay. So
hey, whenever you start that up, how about I come down and we do some filming? Do some
okay,
YouTube videos and all that kind of deal. I'll come down and we'll have us a good old time because I've never been to Fork.
right.
It's one of
We'll
my
go
bucket
bust
list
us some
lakes.
greenfish or two.
I mean, if we didn't, I'd probably cry about it because Lake Fork bass fishing is only something I've been thinking about since I don't know 2002, playing it on video games. The old
Right.
bass fishing video games, Lake Fork, and you catch 15 pounders.
Yeah. Yeah. You can definitely catch some hosses here.
Oh
But
yeah, I've
you know,
never caught a double digit bass. Never have.
right. Well, it took me 40 years almost, 38 years, I think, before I caught my first one. But
I
I
mean, I
sure
got
got drug around by several of them before I ever caught that one.
I got an 8 pounder behind me, but that was an Illinois 8 pounder. So an Illinois 8 pounder is like a Florida 17 pounder. You know what I mean?
I gotta say that's like a Texas 15 pounder right
Yeah,
there, isn't it?
yeah, that's a giant, in Illinois standards.
Right. Is that a strip pit bass or something?
Yeah, yep, yep. He sure
I,
was.
yeah,
Yep.
I'm gonna say some of them more private waters, I can see them growing that big. It take them a long
Oh
time
yeah.
though.
Well, I got a Corey Lake right down the road from my house. It's right off the highway. Literally from that pond, you could see the arch. St. Louis, Missouri,
Yeah,
and it's urban, like next door to one of the most dangerous cities in the country, within a mile or so. And so a couple years back, I was fishing it and somebody shot my truck for some reason. I don't know why. But anyway, you got to have thick skin to live around here. Anyway,
right.
yeah. So this lake, the maximum depth in it is about 95 to 100 foot. And it's all hard bottom, spring fed, gin clear water. Sometimes visibility could be up to 15+ foot.
Right.
It's got deep water grass in it, like 3 different varieties of grass in the lake, and it does have a little sandy into it where the bass like to spawn and stuff. But it has gizzard shad in this lake. 3+ pound gizzards, and you'll see them just schooling. And whenever you see shad, and of course you see a ton of glass minnows every year too, whenever they spawn.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, I've caught 7s and 8s out of it. I've had buddies catch 8 pounders out of it. The biggest I ever heard was 10. We'll see. But I already know for a fact that there's double digit bass in that pond, and it's 2 miles from my
Oh
house.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
they're
Big
smart.
bait makes big bass. And that's
Like the average depth of that lake's probably 30 foot. So, and those big bass don't come up out of that deep water. You'll see them
right.
down there, and they're smart, and you have to be super uber natural, and trick them. There's
Yeah.
it's like a table rock training ground, but just green fish. I wish it had
Right.
smallies and spots in it. I bet it'd be a blast then.
Yeah. Well, we got the big gizzards here too, and when Lee Livesey put a whooping on them during the Elite Series event, he showed what can happen when you hit that big shad spawn.
Hmm.
When they're chasing big baits, man, he wrecked them out there, and it was awesome watching him win that tournament here on his own water. You
Yep, I
know,
watched that tournament. Yep.
yeah, it was incredible. I was the drone camera boater for that event. I got to run around and and let him
Heck
run the
yeah.
drone and film a bunch of stuff, and had a
Yeah,
great time.
that's awesome. Yeah, so
Yeah,
winning co-angler of the year this year. I know you have come up runner up co-angler of the year like what 3 or 4 times?
I
Second,
think I've been runner up twice.
twice. I say I knew there was a few times that you come so close to winning the points,
yeah,
and
yeah.
you've won a couple derbies. I know that.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to get a couple of wins, and the hammer himself, Gary Haraguchi. If he's in the game, it's hard to get an AOY behind that cat.
I mean, yeah, yeah. I mean, if you took the 10 best co-anglers in the country and we had a tournament fishing with random guys 10 times, Gary would probably whoop our asses 10 times. I mean, he's just that good. I
he
mean,
he
he's really that
is.
good.
Yeah, he is next level finesse fisherman.
He is.
He really is. He is tuned in. You
Oh yeah.
know, I even have him tie my leaders on sometimes, thinking it'll give me an advantage, and I still can't whoop him.
Give me that. Give me some juju on there.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. No, the
Yeah.
really cool thing this year when I won co-angler of the year because it was supposed to be a $2,000 prize. So I was
Right.
like, cool. So I'm going to go to the championship and I'm going to make $2,000 already. Awesome. I don't have to buy in and I'm going to make some money. So when I went down to the championship, I got my check and all that and was happy with it. I didn't do crap at the championship. That was another story. Very, very tough tournament for me. And it was my first time ever fishing Pickwick. So anyway, I come home and I, have my $2,000 check. I'm like, cool, I'm gonna put this money towards my boat, you know. So went ahead and bought some things for my old boat I got for next year. And about 3 weeks later, I'm just sitting at home and I get a knock on the door and I open my door and it's UPS and an envelope hands it to me. It's from Major League Fishing. I'm like, I have no idea what this is for. They overnighted it. I was like, okay, UPS. All right. So I open it and there's a letter in there from Major League Fishing and Strike King and Lose saying, here's a $2,000 gift card, $2,000 gift card to Lose and Strike King.
Nice.
I was like, I had no idea I was getting that. Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
So
all.
I end up buying 5 Lose reels. Some of these, because I throw Daiwas is really what I throw.
Yeah.
So I bought some of these Super Duty G's, which are like the smaller profile, heavy duty reels I got. Bought 5 of them for like 140 bucks a piece on Lose. Lose was out of stock on like everything.
Right.
There's only like 3 reels on there I could choose from. And I think one of them was only left-handers. So I basically bought them out of those Super Duties, and then I sold 5 of them, put $500 in my pocket, kept one, and then spent the rest of the $1,500 on Strike King. And now I got a big wall full of Strike King square bills and 3XDs, 5XDs, 6XDs, trailers, spinner baits. Got a handful of the titanium umbrella rigs. Got swim bait heads and the sexy dogs, and I stocked up.
That's excellent. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. Congrats on
Lord
that
knew I could
AOY
use it.
because catching an AOY, winning the Derby, that means you had one good event. Catching an
Mhm.
AOY, that means you had all good events. And
It
there's
it
hammers
was
out there all
tough.
around us every time. And as I get older, them young guys are always gunning. I mean, it's hard for this old man to get ahead of them now.
Hey, well, I'm 36 years old now, Mark, and my body, I was entirely too rough on it as a young man. Bum shoulder, bum knee, bum back. And please believe, after fishing 4, 5 days, especially in inclement water and getting beat up by waves and all that, like I'm hurting. Like
Right.
I just want to go get a full body massage and sit in a jacuzzi for the rest of the week.
Exactly. Yeah, it's getting tougher at my age, but I enjoy it
Oh,
so much. I'm just going to keep grinding, and as long as my health will let me, I'm going to be out there doing something.
well, that's one
Giving
thing
my
this year.
best.
fishing those BFLs this year, I'm only going to be fishing 1-day tournaments until the last ones, which will be a 2-day. That'll be like a walk in the park for me.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm used to just fishing these multi-day events,
Yeah.
Pre-fishing for 2 days and then fishing for 2 or 3 more every time,
Yeah. Yeah. Day 3, if you make the cut, you got new energy. But if getting there sometimes after 3 or 4 days of practice and then 2 days of the tournament, and you're like, man, I'm whooped.
For sure, man. And that's another thing. I mean, there's been tournaments where I'm on day 2 and struggling, and I'm sore and everything and struggling, having a terrible day 2. Maybe I had a decent day 1 or something and I'm in the mix or something. By the end of that day, I'm like, man, I'm glad I didn't make it. I want to go home and relax.
Right. Yeah.
My body hurts.
Yeah. Well,
but here you go, y'all. I'll show off. This is a cool little deal, Mark, that we got going on my Thunderhawk sponsor. I'm also the sales rep for Thunderhawk here in the Midwest, but they got this little go bag for like $80. It's like $120 value. And then of course, if you use my discount code on thunderhawklures.com, nice guy Rob 20, you get an additional 20% off. But it comes with 2 lipless cranks. And then it comes with 2 of the square bills. 2 of the square bills. And these are all original designs too, Mark. Like, I'll have to show you these liplesses. They're nose weighted, and they have swivels built into the bait, so the hook spin.
Okay.
They're pretty cool. It comes with a jerk bait, perch. I know you'll like that guy, especially up there in the
smallmouth country.
Yep. Little suspend and jerk bait. And then here's a new bait. I'm trying to think of what the original one is. Well, before I show this, I'll show the new jig. And please believe they came out with this jig because I was in their ear saying, hey, you guys got to get a small jig. You just do. And it's called the Grunt. So it's kind of a little hybrid, little teardrop kind of shape head, kind of like my Kitech. And nice little sticky hook on it. So the Grunt jig, I like that. And then this is called a Grenade. I'm trying to think of what the original. There's another bait maker that makes a similar style bait, but this is supposed to be. These things are supposed to be smallmouth killers.
Oh wow!
Yeah, they're little rib baits. I'm trying to think. It's a goofy name. The company that makes these little ribbed dudes, but we came out with one, and yeah, this is called the Grenade. It's got little painted eyes on them. And for a drop shot for Carolina rigging it or whatever, comes in 2 different sizes, 2 3/4 and 3 3/4. That's the bigger one there. But we also came out with our own version of the plastic that don't break. So that's something that's coming. It's our own proprietary blend. What Thunderhawk's calling is indestructible plastic. But yeah, so there you go. There it is. And these baits here haven't even been released yet. The jig has not been released yet. But if you get on thunderhawklures.com and buy the Go Bag, so if it's $79 with 20% off with my discount code, you're paying like $60, something like that. I was terrible at math.
Send me that info.
Yeah. But these guys here are really, really neat, man. And I've never thrown this bait before, but please believe next year I am going to, especially if I get around brownfish or it gets tough,
Yeah.
Something that, always was in my back pocket when I got around spotted bass or smallies was always the old French fry.
Right.
The old French fries, split shotted. People forgot about. I remember I read something Bassmaster a couple years ago talking about the split shot rig like it was something new. It's like I was throwing that since I was 7.
Right. Yeah, that's fixing to say the chicken rig. That's money.
Yeah.
Even on lakes like Rayburn, you can get fat on it.
Yeah. And I'm gonna have to send you a care. I'm gonna send you a care package of these Thunderhawks and let you check them out.
Okay. Awesome.
You can get on the website, check them out. And we're always looking for guys who across the country who want to be a rep and check them out and possibly get them in some stores. Like I said, I'm the rep for the Midwest. Oh, all right. Let's see here. So you're gonna fish the Southeastern next year, you said?
The Southern. I'm actually going to go to Florida twice and South Carolina once. We got
Oh man,
Okeechobee,
no Texas
Harris
lakes in the
Chain,
Southern.
and Santee Cooper.
Ooh, I've never been to any of those lakes. You
Uh,
go to
you know,
Okeechobee almost every year, don't you?
when it was in the rotation, yes, it's one of them places that if you ever go there, you can't wait to go back. So.
Oh, I bet. I mean, I love
Yeah.
Florida in general. How's it going, Tom Stark? Craig Holsey, how's it going? Craig Holsey said, "How are you, Mark?"
Yeah, where I've been fortunate enough to catch it on a couple of cold fronts, and when they hit the cold front down there, I can usually figure out a way to catch them finessing when everybody else is still trying to punch up a big one or throw
Power them
big
up, yeah,
baits. You know,
yeah. They probably. What's like the average depth of that lake?
average depth probably 4 foot.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, you don't fish deep very often. Do you ever fish over 5-6 foot at the deepest? I mean, it's a lot of 2 to 4 foot fishing.
Yeah. So them boys trying to power them up on top water or trying to punch through them, and
Yeah,
shoot, they may
yeah,
be.
a lot of punching, a lot of throwing chatterbaits,
Yeah.
and there's massive schools of fish in that lake, and when they start moving up, everybody can get fat in 1 minute. I mean, it's crazy when them fish decide they're coming in.
Right.
Uh, I mean, it'll be a group of 4 to 6 pound bass, just droves of them. You
Right.
know, so
Yeah, and that's something I may do too in the next couple of years. Try to fish the BFLs or whatever as a boater, and then go to these lakes that I've never fished before, like Okeechobee and
yeah.
stuff like that, and fish as a code, just to go out there and fish on it. Just
Oh
just
yeah,
just
yeah.
just to go have some fun and look at the lake, basically. If I catch them, hell yeah, but if not, oh well. You know.
Yeah, nah, you'd enjoy it. That's one thing about 5 years on the tour. I got to see so many bodies of water that I
Hmm.
never would have got to fish, and uh, now what is it? 12 years on the co-angler side of the Costas and or
Hmm.
Toyotas now, and it's just I've seen so many bodies of water that and I fell in love with most of them. Some of them I don't care to go back to, but that's rare. I mean, it really
Right.
is. And Table
Yeah.
Rock, I fell in love with Table Rock.
Oh, me too. I mean, I had fished it one time when I was young, but I really didn't know what I was doing back then. I was just kind of messing around and caught some spotted bass and whatnot. And then in 14, when I got into my first BFL, my very first tournament was on Table Rock. And I ended up catching one bass that day. It was March, cold. One bass
Right,
that day, and it was 514. And I got 11th place in big bass with one fish, and
right.
I didn't even know what I was doing then. Like I look at my progression as a fisherman just in general from
Yeah,
2014 to today. If I knew what I knew now back in 14, it'd probably be a whole different ball game. you know?
right. Yeah,
And you
yeah,
just learn so much and see so much different stuff and pick up
yeah,
little tricks and tips from this guy and that guy and you know and then it's just cool, man.
yeah. Well, I didn't own a boat most of my life, so I fished out of the back of other people's boats, and
Yep.
I had some friends that insisted that I ran the boat, but for the most part, you know, I wanted to be on the back deck. And even to this day, when I team fish locally, people like, get up here and run the trolling motor. I said, man, if you want me to do some damage, I got to stay back here.
Yeah. Yep. No, I
It's my
mean,
comfort zone.
I've had a couple little cheap boats growing up. I'm just a broke nobody from Illinois. And I basically I started fishing as a co-angler just because I didn't have a boat and I really wanted to
Right.
fish bigger tournaments.
Yeah.
And then it's been a wild ride doing it, but this year I made some money and I spent that money and bought a boat, for 6 grand and getting ready to put new carpet on it, new seats, got the seats in, got the carpet, gotta put I got a new fish finder. I got a Helix 7 to put up front, and then because it has no graphs up front, I have a decent little Humminbird. It's like a 998C or something in the console. It's got side imaging and down scan and mapping. That's really all I need there. Um, so now I got to get the trolling motor, a new trolling motor, and going to try to get a Garmin a scope up front. And so
that's
I'll run.
important.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta have it. So my last two purchases are the trolling motor and the live scope, and then after that, I'll pretty much be ready. I mean, other than that, maybe some little stuff, maybe like replace the pumps on like the live wells or something. But other than that, everything's pretty much ready to roll.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to following you in the BFLs this year, and I'll always be a fan of Rob Crane. You
I
know,
appreciate you, brother.
you proved you're a quality human. You're an awesome dad to them two boys, and
I
you get them
appreciate
out
that.
in the outdoors, and I love that. I love that. Your 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 priorities are in the right place, and good things are going to happen for you. And I look for you to
Yep.
be up there and whacking them up in Wisconsin this year in lacrosse
Hey,
on the
that sounds
Mississippi
like
River.
I'm excited, man. And I know these tournaments are going to be tough. Rend Lake is a super stingy lake. Shelbyville can be very stingy. I know I'm not going to have a ton of pre-fishing. I'm gonna get 2 days in. Um, and hopefully I can figure out some stuff. Just a little deal. Like I said, I'm just going to focus on getting five. I'm almost going to approach these tournaments like a co-angler, honestly. I'm going to get
Yeah,
finessey with them. I'm going to downsize my offerings. I'm going to, like you said, I'm going to approach it. I'm going to try to get my five. Then after that, then go head hunting. I'm not going to go
yeah,
fishing for 5 bites a day trying to catch a big fish in Illinois. Not going to do it.
right. Yeah,
Not
yeah.
going to do it.
85.
Yeah, I'm not going to
Yeah,
act like I'm at Lake of the Ozarks and wind a whopper plopper all day.
right.
No.
Well, hey, just in case I drop out here in a minute because it looks like the phone's getting low, but
Yeah.
man, I'm glad we were able to pull this off, and I appreciate you having me on. Just wanted to give you that love before something happens here. I've had a
Hey,
couple
bro,
of warnings that my phone
brother,
getting
as
low. So,
as always, you're one of the guys I look up to in this deal, and you were one of the best humans in the deal, and you just keep
well,
chugging along, and right back at you. I've always been a fan of Mr. Mark Howard, and always will be. So there you go.
let's
Hey,
let's continue to lift up our brothers from Illinois, Arkansas, Missouri, Kentucky, Tennessee, all the way into Ohio. I guess I don't know how far that thing went, but
man,
boy, we
it
got a lot of people hurting, and they're all in need of prayers and whatever resources we can send their way. We need to do that.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely lift
I
them up.
I had a very close call with the one here in Illinois. I'm talking within a half a mile. Uh, real sketchy on Saturday. And then they said, I believe in Kentucky, they said that the one tornado was on the ground for 250 miles, which is like a record
Yeah,
since like
yeah,
1945. So that's
right.
that's
Yeah,
insanely scary. And I believe they said at like its base at one point was like 3 miles wide.
yeah. It was huge. It was a massive storm, and yeah, a lot of people hurting out there. And also, I wanted to ask for prayers. Scott Dean, Brady Winans, two local anglers that are absolute North Texas hammers, were in a single boat accident. We don't know all the details, but they ran into the dam. And this morning I woke up praying for them, and I thought, Lord, I'm just thankful that we can pray for their recovery and their healing. Because honestly, from what I heard, and I haven't seen photos, but from what I've heard, they shouldn't have walked away. And
Wow.
one didn't walk away, but he was still able to be rescued and been through multiple surgeries, and they're going to survive. And but anyway, they're awesome anglers, and they're good people, good family people, and they definitely need our love and support. on a local level here in North Texas. So
Yep. Mr. Craig Holsey commented, Mark, he said, Mark is the best at finesse fishing out of the back. I believe it. I believe it. So
yeah,
we definitely pray for their speedy recovery. Like you said, anytime you hear a boat accident and a dam in the same sentence, it's horrendously scary, you
right.
know? Um,
Yeah,
so the fact that they've survived and are gonna make it is amazing. That's God's grace right there in itself, for sure.
yeah, yeah. One was able to leave the hospital the same evening, and the other one had gone through multiple surgeries the first day. And I know I've been in car wrecks. I've never been in a serious boat accident, but I know how bad you hurt the next day,
Hmm.
even if you didn't break
Right.
anything. And
Yep.
you know, it's going to be a tough week, and they're going to have some memories going to come. I know when I had a bad wreck back in when I was 18 and rolled a Jeep 3 times, and it took a week before I really understood what happened because it
Hmm.
bangs you up so bad, and you're just the shock of
Yeah.
it all. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
they're going to
I
have
I
some
was in.
nightmares to deal with. I'm sure.
Yep. Oh, I was in a few car accidents growing up. None of them I was driving, of course. It was always driving with buddies, acting a fool. And one of them in particular with a buddy of mine. After you seen the
Right.
car, and we went into a ravine, and the car was like this, skid off the road going about 60. It was amazing. We made it out of that with just bumps and bruises. That's for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, been
yeah,
in a few
yeah.
over the
That's
years, and
Tony Gurgley. One of my sponsors is Sure Life, and it's Tony Gurgley, and he posted something the other day about how we've gotten to this far in life in spite of all our foolishness. And I said, I said, I believe we've had our guardian angels walk off the job.
hey, I know dang well that the Lord definitely has a plan for me because I am still here, and I made it long enough to make two beautiful little boys, and it's like my
Oh,
daddy.
absolutely.
He's done beat cancer twice, and he just went through another health scare as of late, and he's just a tough dude. When it's your time, it's your time. And when God has a plan for you, when your work is not finished yet, he gonna keep you around. And everybody who's prayed for my dad the
That's right.
past
That's
year, 2 years,
right.
I appreciate all you guys because I love that man to death. He is my hero, and he's a great father, great grandfather. He worked his tail off for 41 years on the railroad, and sadly, not long after he retired, he's had to have nothing but health scares. But he's still here to love and support his family. So I appreciate all y'all for that.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, my pop
So hey,
made it to 88, and the last 10 years were pretty rough, but
yeah,
it was good to have him around a long time.
oh yeah, oh yeah. It's crazy with the advances in healthcare and all that nowadays. It's just I got some opinions on all
Right.
that, which I'm sure
Yeah.
me and you share quite a few of them. But yeah, it's crazy
Oh
times
yeah,
we're living in
yeah, we
right now.
do.
Crazy times we're living in, that's for sure.
It is, but there's nothing that is a surprise to God.
Mm-mm.
He's not caught
Nope.
off guard one bit. Nothing's
Nope.
happening that ain't part of the plan that God has
Yep.
established. Evil can try to do what they want, but
Yep.
at the end of the day, God still. So
Amen. Amen on that. Well, brother, you got anything else you want to add about next year, this year,
put your faith in
co-angling?
Him, and
You're cutting out a little bit, buddy.
I can't believe I'm still here. This phone's going forever, huh?
I said you were cutting out a little bit, so
Where's them
your
boys? I
phone's
can't
about to be.
believe they hadn't popped up.
Oh, they're with their mama tonight. They're not with their daddy. I'll have them tomorrow
I think
night.
I'm about to power down.
All right, brother. Well, God bless you. Thanks for being
Oh,
on.
there you go. This is all right. Here, Bass and Sassy's got to get in the photo. She's known around the world too.
Yeah, she is.
She's a
That ain't no
traveling
kidding.
fishing dog. She's in charge of tail licking.
Hey, I've seen her.
Take care,
I've
brother.
seen her
God
quite
bless
a few times.
you. We
God,
look on the someday.
God bless you, brother.
Right? Yeah.
Can you still hear
she
me?
should travel. God bless. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Later. All right, we lost Mark. It's getting a little choppy there at the end. God bless you, buddy. I appreciate you. Let's see here. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. All right, there we go. So anyway, we all, Mr. Mark Howard, great dude, man of God, great fisherman, and like I said, Mr. Mark's fished over 100 events as a co-angler, won over $120,000. He's won a couple derbies, and he's come real close to winning Angler of the Year quite a few times, or at least a couple. He was in second, I believe. So great fisherman, somebody that I've always looked up to and always been proud to call a friend. But other than that, y'all, recap. Check out thunderhawklures.com. Check out the Go Bag. Got a whole bunch of goodies in here. I believe it's $79.99 for the bag. If you use the promo code NiceGuyRob20 at checkout, you'll save an additional 20% off on everything on the site. So check out Thunderhawk Lures on that one. Next year, I am not co-angling. I am going to fish the Illini Division BFLs. We have Lake Shelbyville in Illinois, May 14th. Lake Shelbyville, June 18th. Then we have Wren Lake in Illinois, July 8th or 16th. The Ohio River down in Paducah, Kentucky on August 20th. And then we're going back to Wren Lake, September 16th and 17th for the Super Tournament. And I believe it's top 50 I have to make the regional, which is up in La Crosse. And it is a smallmouth heaven, or it's got smallmouth, but it's big largemouth up there, clear water, lots of grass. Everything I've ever heard about it kind of gets me excited. So I want to go up there and try to make that regional tournament. And fishing from the front, making a regional my first year will be the goal. Of course, I'm going to go try to win one of them nice little fish trophies for first place in the BFL. But if I make the regional, I would consider my first year in the front of the boat a success. So y'all look out for that. Check out thunderhawklures.com. Check out KaiTechUSA.com. Everybody who tunes in, everybody who follows me on Facebook. If you are on YouTube, please go to my YouTube channel, Rob Crane Fishing. Shoot me a follow. If you are on my Facebook, please show Rob Crane Fishing on Facebook a follow. And I'm also on Instagram, Rob Crane Fishing. I'm even on TikTok now, starting to make TikTok videos. Man, the times are changing. All the Chinese Communist Party's getting all my information on the TikTok, they say. That's what I read one time. I don't know about that. Who knows? You never know nowadays, y'all. But God bless everybody. Rob Crane signing out from the armpit of America. I got to do some laundry, stuff like that, get ready for work tomorrow. Got to pick my little boys up in the morning, take them to the babysitter in the school. Y'all have a blessed night. Rob Crane signing out. Later.